Tonight at 10, Gordon Brown's plans for the year ahead revealed in the Queen's speech. Amid the pageantry, the Queen confirms that more homes will be built, the school leaving age will be raised, and there'll be an extension of anti-terror laws. It's already provoked explosive debate.
Yet another relaunch, yet another rehash of short-term gimmicks and the same old thinking.
When it comes to discussing the long-term future of this country, he is not even in a position to join the debate.
We'll have all the detail and the reaction. Also tonight, the murder of a British student in Italy. Now 2 friends are among those arrested. A guard of honour tonight for the firemen whose bodies have been found after the Warwickshire blaze. In Remembrance Week, we talk to a sailor who served in the Great War.
I'm lucky, aren't I? I reckon, to be surviving all that time, blimey, yes.
And an all-time record in the Champions League tonight for Liverpool.
On BBC London, a spectacular royal opening for the £800 million newly restored St Pancras. And the children whose siblings have been killed on the roads call on the government to lower speed limits.
Good evening. It took just 8 minutes for the Queen to outline the government's plans for the year ahead, but the speech, delivered from the throne of the House of Lords, included plans for some 26 bills. They include measures to build more homes, to raise the school leaving age to 18 and to tackle climate change. And as our political editor Nick Robinson reports, the Queen's speech produced bitter exchanges in the Commons between Gordon Brown and David Cameron.
The British Constitution in action. The Queen transported in style to Parliament to read a speech in her name, but whose script is written by the government. It is an unrivalled spectacle. Outside so serene, inside so very different.
People are beginning to wonder, what is the point of this government?
It's contradictory, not thought through.
It was one of the bitterest and most bruising parliamentary punch-ups in years. When Black Rod summoned MPs to hear the Queen's speech, they were led by 2 men who had tried very hard to conceal their obvious dislike of each other.
My government's programme will meet people's aspirations for better education, housing, healthcare and children's services, and for a cleaner environment.
There were few surprises. No wonder Gordon Brown had himself delivered a draft Queen's speech back in July. So it was confirmed that the education leaving age will be raised to 18. In England, that is. A new climate change bill will aim to cut carbon emissions to 60% by the year 2050. What was new today was a promise to extend to parents of older children the right to ask for more flexible working.
The central purpose of this legislative programme is to make the right long-term changes to prepare and equip our country for the future and to meet the rising aspirations of the British people.
No, said David Cameron, the speech, like the Prime Minister, contained too many short-term tricks.
Yet another relaunch, yet another rehash of short-term gimmicks and the same old thinking.
Again and again, Gordon Brown demanded to know what the Conservatives' policies were. You stole them, replied the Tory leader, before this extraordinary exchange.
Look me in the eye and say, that you were planning to reform, that the Prime Minister was planning to reform inheritance tax before our party conference. See if you can look across the dispatch box and just say it.
Answer is yes. And we will unequivocally yes.
Ridiculed once again by the Tories, the pressure began to show. Just look at the Prime Ministerial hand shaking on the dispatch box.
When it comes to discussing the long-term future of this country, he is not even in a position to join the debate.
Once the Commons had quietened, the Liberal Democrats condemned both the other parties.
They're advocating the same tax policies, with the same indifference to widening inequality, the same love affair with the discredited council tax. They're both now bidding for the anti-immigrant vote.
But what about Scotland, asked the SNP.
This was definitely a Queen's speech aimed at Middle England. The most important headline measures are English-only measures. There were some which, of course, are important for the whole of the UK, but Gordon Brown's focus is Middle England. The vision thing was lacking for Scotland, and just at a time when we're needing a competitive advantage to let our economy grow and compete with our nearest neighbours, we didn't hear anything about that. So the vision thing was lacking, and it was a Queen's speech of missed opportunities for Scotland.
And so it is over for another year, leaving the strong sense that politics will be dirtier than it has been for a long, long time. Nick Robinson, BBC.